once lived a boy with a very big head, and no one made fun of him or wished he were dead. And maybe they would if he came outside, but he stayed in his house until he was 9. Now this boy wasn't ugly, he was actually quite cute, but his head was so big that some people would puke. He lived with his grandfather, not his mother of course, for when she gave birth, she was quite literally torn apart. And the father of this child thought his son was a freak, so he went back to the lab to test on monkey and sheep. The boy with the big head was almost very glad, but he hadn't any friends, so he was almost very sad. Every day he looked out his window, being his favorite thing to do, until one day people saw him and they came to lock him in a zoo. So he crawled under his bed as far as he could go, until something yelled at him, then bit him on the nose. A blue little monster crawled out from under the bed. It tortured the boy, it wanted him dead. Until 5 minutes later, then they were friends. But the monster was scared, so it went back under the bed. The grandfather was growing old, dying and weak, his arteries filled with dairy and meat. Several days later, on a cool winter's night, arrived a nurse who now lived with them day after day, simply to make sure Grandpa and the little boy with big head were okay. But the nurse was lazy, so she locked the boy in his room, and she only fed him meals once a day, exactly at noon. Late one night, after several months of dread, the nurse went to check on the boy with big head. But the nurse didn't know a blue monster lived under the bed. The monster came out and ate her, and now she was dead. The tree of many years met the boy with big head, since he climbed up the tree even though it's half dead. Perched out on the limb, he looked into the forest in search of the scattering of the blue monster's course. But when he arose, the size of his head catapulted him to a rock where he lies almost dead. Yet a two-headed monster who lives in a cave came out to see if the boy was okay. But the boy with the big head was ever so scared, for his vision was impaired. A two-headed monster was sewing up his face, and the blue monster left without leaving a trace.